All right, Mary. So we're going to look at race video from mock race as well as practice video from the weekend before that. I had already mentioned in our practice this past Sunday. I think overall your performance was pretty good. Just a couple of things here and there in terms of consistency and timing all the way through. Most of the time is pretty good in time with Jeff. Occasionally you're a little bit early. So I know I'm highlighting it right here, but obviously it wasn't like this throughout the piece. But here, for example, you catch a little bit earlier. You kind of get into the front about the same time. Just they have a slightly longer toast in this particular stroke here. But I think the main thing I want to cover on this video is kind of your recovery technique. Just looking at areas where you can make it maybe just a hair more efficient as we go through. So we do have both videos here to take a look at. We'll kind of see the same thing, okay? So in this video on the right, you are sitting back here in bench 10 right. So the only thing I would really mainly say is how quickly you go into the square position. But more so, it's a slight factor in what's making you go so high, but I'm kind of looking at how high your lower hand travels as you recover. So each time here, we can get maybe just an inch or two closer to the water on the bottom there. Okay. I'm going to highlight this in the race video on the left here as well. So as this camera comes over to the side here, we're going to take a quick look. Okay, so if you take a look at the paddlers behind you, and then your paddle height, literally it's only like an inch or two higher above the water, right? As we sweep across here. But that does translate to, from the side view here, your lower hand basically ending up a little bit higher each time than most other people. Obviously in this video, Ginny is kind of doing the same thing. So, but I'm gonna zoom out just a little bit so we have a frame of reference as we come through in this recovery. So, I'm gonna just start drawing little, well, let's use lines actually. So we're gonna trace motion of that lower hand for a handful of paddlers as we're going from the exit into through the recovery. So starting point, starting point, starting point, starting point. Okay, and we're just gonna kind of connect as we go through these. Oops. So bear with me while I trace these lines out. Okay, so I'm gonna try to do this a little bit faster. Okay. So Jerry's kind of goes like this, right? On this video. He's kind of aiming for, as he's going through that recovery, he's aiming right at Fred's outer armpit, right? Same thing right here. So if we trace that full motion, it's there, and then now we're going back down into the stroke. Sorry, these lines are kind of jaggedy. Okay, I'm gonna kind of do the same thing here for Robert. Nice smooth motion, up and out, forward, following right along that Jerry probably gets the best angle here. So Jerry, you can see he's just barely clearing the water, which is probably the most efficient you can get, right? Even Robert behind him, he clears by an extra inch or so, just a tiny bit higher than Jerry's. You can see the arc of his trace. He goes right just above Jerry's shoulder. Hold on, let me redo that line, or these last two lines. Okay, so it's something like this. Reaching forward. And down. Okay, and let's get Peter's right here. Up through here. Up again. Okay. I'm gonna go ahead and do Ginny's here just for completeness. Okay, and then lastly, Mary's here. We have this motion here coming up here, over, and down. All right. So these are all kind of slight variances in the two, or in all of these arcs. Obviously, there's different lengths because people are slightly different in terms of how long their arms are. But, right, if we're looking at an absolute measure, right, if we're looking at water height, if we're looking at something like water height, oh shoot. Well, that kind of sucks. I accidentally hit the clear button. Great. Sad. Okay, I'm gonna stop this video, and then I'm gonna do another short one in a sec where I just highlight that lower hand height. But I don't want to get rid of some of the other stuff we've already looked at. Okay, so this is part 1 of your video. I'm gonna redo another one with just that right side video with all those lines redrawn out in 1 second. All right.